April 15th, 1912. The Titanic sinks after hitting an iceberg. But that's not what you think about when you think about April 15th. Like everybody else, you think about taxes and you shudder because nobody knows how to take care of them. In order to properly educate the youth before they enter the workforce, economics, specifically how to complete taxes, should be taught to children beginning in elementary school. I will show those of you who would rather pay an accountant to do your taxes how you should be able to do your own taxes. And I will show those of you who already have this knowledge that you shouldn't be the only one of your friends who knows how to do this. I pulled my information from websites, online journals, and videos. And as a student currently majoring in business, accounting, and bookkeeping, it will make my future job easier if everybody else knows how to do their own taxes. I will persuade you that a problem exists in our country, namely that kids entering the working world have little to no concept of how to budget their money. The solution to this is that children should be taught about real-world economics before they hit kindergarten. And everyone will reap benefits by having a background of money management that will save them from ruining their futures or depending on others. So let's get started. So kids entering the working world have little to no concept of how to budget their money. Growing up in poverty can create generations of people who don't understand anything but poverty. Parents who struggle with finances cannot possibly teach their children how to take care of their own finances. And this becomes a cycle of poverty, which leaving that cycle is very difficult to do. Children are ignorant about money. Children who are ignorant about any subject risk falling behind once that subject becomes part of their actual working life. And money is the most important of those. Because if you don't understand money, you will inevitably be in poverty, or at least you will make a lot of mistakes that are unnecessary along the way. Parents pay their children's expenses. There's a taboo in our society about teaching our children about money, and I'm not sure why there is this taboo, because without it, we'd be able to teach our children about money, and then that cycle of poverty would be ended. I have explained the problem with kids having no concept of budgets, and let's talk about a solution, shall we? So children should be taught about real-world economics starting in kindergarten. That may seem early to some of you, and actually to me it seemed that early as well. But I thought that that would actually be a good idea because kids can learn a lot faster and a lot easier than we think they can. For instance, this is a 5th grade class learning calculus. Now they're not learning all of the formulas of calculus, but they are learning the basic idea of calculus in 5th grade. These are 10-year-olds. They are using quarters to understand the concept of area. So it provides a hands-on education as well as allowing them an earlier start in life to understand math along with economics and numbers. If they can learn calculus at 10, they can learn how to manage their money so that when they turn 18 and join the working world, they will not have an issue with that. So parents should let their kids fail. When you're young, you can fail and still get back on your feet. As you get older and you make more mistakes, those come back to haunt you a lot harder than they do when you're young. While a parent's greatest fear is failing their child, if you don't teach them about money, you are failing them in the long run. Maybe in the short term they're okay, but in the long run you are failing them. So I've talked about the problems with kids not having a concept of budgets, and I've given you a solution. So now let's talk about the benefits that society receives. Having a background of money management will save young adults from wasting their time and money. As you can see on this chart, in 10 years of high school seniors being tested on a 31 question exam on basic finance, every single class averaged failure, which passing was 60%. So for all of them, they would have failed if this was a class in high school. All of these kids are going into college, or most of them into the working world, and they have no idea what they're in for. It's not enough simply to know facts and figures. Kids must understand how money is managed properly before they can hope for financial success. And the more information that the kids are given by their parents, the better their chances at success. Bonus is knowing that the parents won't need to eventually bail the kids out once they become adults. They should be able to be self-sufficient. In conclusion, there is no reason why an adult should know more about Hamlet than they do about a 1040 form with a child tax credit. When children gain access to knowledge, they open a world of possibilities and can learn from others' mistakes. So in order to properly educate the youth before they enter the workplace, economics, specifically how to complete taxes, should be taught to children beginning in elementary school. I have persuaded you that a problem exists in our society, namely that kids entering the working world have little to no concept of how to budget. The solution to that is that children should be taught about money management starting in kindergarten. And the benefits are that everybody who has a background of money management will be able to save their futures from ruin or for depending on others. It's time that we teach our children the value of financial freedom through early and lifelong education. Without proper guidance, today's ignorant children will become tomorrow's ignorant adults, and they'll be confused, they'll be struggling with basic decisions about their finances, they'll make a lot of mistakes that are unnecessarily, and they'll become impoverished simply because of ignorance. I'd like to end with a quote from Adam Smith in Wealth of Nations. "No society can surely be flourishing and happy of which the far greater part of the members are poor and miserable." Thank you.